Hello and good morning to my lecturer, Dr. SUHANA binti ISMAIL. My name is Syed Muhammad FARHANNUDDIN bin Syed Muhammad AMIN. My matrix number is 2023-660-498. And this is my data analysis proposal, which is my title is a study implementation of periodic building inspection for Section 85A in Route, Drainage and Building Act 1984. The implementation of periodic building inspection under Section 85A of the Street Drainage and Building Act 1974, focusing on property managers in Petaling Jaya. Regular inspections are important to maintain building safety and extend building lifespan. After incidents like the Highland Tower collapse, Malaysia made such inspections mandatory for buildings over 5 stories or older than 10 years. However, enforcement is still weak, and many property managers face challenges in applying inspection standards effectively. The study aims to assess the readiness of property managers in terms of technical knowledge, use of technology, and perception towards periodic inspections. It also investigates how modern tools like building information modeling, augmented reality, and artificial neural networks can improve inspection accuracy and efficiency. Using both questionnaire and interviews, the research collects and analyzes data from selected property professionals. The findings will help identify current limitations, propose practical improvements, and support better building maintenance practice in Malaysia. Talk about my research question, which is firstly, what is the level of readiness among property managers to implement periodic building inspection in terms of technical skills and knowledge? Secondly, is how do property managers perceive the benefits of periodic building inspections in terms of cost savings from preventive maintenance? Objectives. Firstly is to assess the readiness level of property managers in adopting periodic building inspections, focusing on their technical capacity, training, and resource availability. Secondly is to evaluate property managers' perceptions regarding the operational, safety, and financial benefit of periodic building inspections. Actual review part, I already divide it into the sum of the variable part, which is first of the variable is regulatory enforcement. Secondly is technological adoption. Thirdly is inspection guidelines, standardizations, and lastly is inspection accuracy. That's all for the literature review variable. Analysis and findings part, I have divided into two categories, which is part A, demographic profile, and part B for the variable. Firstly, part A is roles. The table from SPSS display a statistical table summarizing job distribution across three roles: property manager, building executive, and building surveyor. Each role is represented with its respective frequency, percentage, valid percent, and cumulative percent out of a total sample of 20 individuals. Building surveyor appear as the most common role, 40%, followed by equal representation for property managers and building executive, 30%. Each. The organized layout support clear interpretation of professional demography in estate-related context. For the second one of part A is experience. The SPSS table titled experience categorized responded into three groups based on years of professional experience: less than 5 years, 5 to 10 years, and more than 10 years. The largest segment is 45%, consists of individuals with under 5 years of experience, while 25% fall into the mid-range and 30% have over a decade of experience. And the last part for demographic profile is type of building. The table called type of building shows how many people choose each type of building. There are four types: residential, commercial, mixed use, and government. Residential was chosen the most with 14 people or 70.0%. Commercial had 2 people, 10.0%. Mixed use has 3 people, 15.0%, and government had 1%, which is 5.0%. The table also shows totals that build up with each type. Residential start with 70%, then goes to 80%, 95%, and ends at 100%. Now we move to the part B, which is a variable part. First variable is a regulatory enforcement, and the the question is penalties enforcement. The SPSS table called penalty enforcement shows how these three types of professionals: property manager, building surveyors, and building executive, rated the enforcement of penalties. Most of them gave a score of 4, chosen 11 times, showing that many feel penalty enforcement is moderate. Score 3 got 5 response, score 5 had 3, and score 2 was picked once. None of them choose score 1 or score 6. The average score is 3.8, meaning their opinions mostly fall near the middle. This shows that disability-related professionality enforcement is fair, not too strict or too soft. Their response suggests they see room for improvement but don't view current practice as poor. Also, because scores on both extremes will not not chosen. It seems they generally agree enforcement is balanced. This kind of insight could help guide policies or training in penalty enforcement within property and property management. Second question is regulatory enforcement in legal obligation. The chart called legal obligation shows how many people gave score from 1 to 5. The most common scores are 2 and 3, both chosen 6 times. Score 4 was picked 5 times, score 5 had 2, and score 1 only once. The average score is 2.9, which is close to the middle. This means most people think legal responsibilities are moderate, not too strong or too weak. It shows mixed views but no strong disagreement. And for last part is effective penalty system. The SPSS chart called effective penalty system shows how property managers, building surveyors, and property executive rated how well penalties are used. Most of them picked scores 3 and 4. Each chosen 6 times, score 5 had 4 responses, while score 2 was picked 2 times. No one chose score 1 or 6. The average score is 3.5, which means most people gave a middle rating. This shows that many think the penalty system is okay but could be better. Technological adoption for Part B, which is first question of technological adoption is usage of digital tools. The chart called Use Digital Tools shows how often building professionals use digital tools like BIM and AR for inspection. Most people gave scores of 3 and 5, which 6 responses each. Score 4 had 4 responses, score 2 had 3, and score 1 had only 1. No one picked score 0 or 6. The average score is 3.55, meaning many use these tools, sometimes not very often, but not too little either. This shows moderate use of technology. Second question is technological adoption is usage of training program. In the chart shows how building professional rated training programs that help staff use inspection technologies like BIM and AR. Most people gave a score of 3 with 7 response. Score 4 was chosen 5 times. Score 2 had 4 responses and score 5 had 3. Only one person picked score 1. The average score is 3.1, showing most think training is okay and not bad, but not excellent either. It suggests there is room to improve. And the last question for technological adoption is usage of budget constraint. In the chart shows how building professional rated money limits when trying to buy inspection tools like BIM and AR. The score 3 and 5 were chosen the most, each picked 7 times. Score 4 had 3 answers, score 2 had 2, and score 1 was not picked at all. The average score is 3.8, showing many people feel that the budget problems are a big issue when planning for inspection technology. Third variable is inspection guideline standardization. And the question for inspection guideline standardization is clear national standard. In the chart, shows how building professional rated the rules under section 85A for inspections. Most of them gave score 4 with 8 responses, followed by score 3 with 7 responses, score 5 got 4 responses, and score 2 had 1. No one chose score 1. The average score is 3.55, which means most people agree that the standards are clear, though sometimes they could still be better or more explained. The second question for the inspection guideline standardization is standardized report. In the chart, shows how many professional rated how much their reports follow a set format. Most people gave scores of 3 and 4 with 7 and 8 response. Score 5 got 2 answers and score 2 also had 2. No one picked score 1 or 6. The average score is 3.55, meaning many agree reports follow a format quite well, though there's still a bit of room to make things more consistent. And the last question for inspection guideline standardization is different inspector give different result. The chart shows how many inspectors will give similar result when checking the same building. Most people said 4 inspectors give the same result with 9 responses. Other common numbers were 3 and 2 inspectors, and the average is 3 to 0.25, meaning usually 3 to 4 inspectors agree with each other. This means different inspectors mostly see things the same way, so inspections are reliable and not too different from each other. Part of variable is inspection accuracy, and the question for inspection accuracy is manual inspection errors. In the chart, shows how often building professionals made mistakes during manual inspections. Most people made 3 errors with 9 responses, some made 4, 2, or even 5 errors, but fewer choose those. No one picked 1 or 6 errors. The average number of errors is 2.95, showing that small mistakes are common. This means checking buildings by hand can lead to human mistakes, so better tools or might help do the job better. Second question for the inspection accuracy is digital tools accuracy. In the chart, shows how building professional rated the use of tools like BIM to find defects. The most common score were 2.5 and 3.5, both picked 8 times. Score 4.5 was chosen 2 times, and highest score were chosen less. The average score is 3.8, which means most people agree that digital tools help find defects more accurately. It shows that the use of technology gives better result than doing it by manual. And the last question for inspection accuracy is current capture critical building defects. In the chat below shows how building professional rated how well inspection catch major problems. Most people gave scores around 4, with fewer giving 3 or 5. The average score is 3.95, which is close to 4. This means many think inspection find important building defects quite well. While not perfect, the results show that this current system does a good job overall in spotting serious issues during building checks. And that's all for my data analysis proposal presentation. If you have any question, you can PM me on WhatsApp. Thank you very much.